So imagine being an orthodontist and you're commenting on another professional's video that happens to be of their office manager sharing her expansion journey with everyone. And you tell her that she doesn't need expansion because her intermolar width is normal and because she doesn't have any tooth crowding. Not only is it not very nice or professional to make a comment like that, it's a little concerning to have an orthodontist thinking the only indication for expansion is crowded teeth.
And just because somebody doesn't have crowding does not mean that they don't need expansion. In fact, anybody that would conclude by looking at somebody's mouth that just because they don't have crowding, that they don't need expansion, really doesn't know what they're talking about. This is our office manager, Melissa. She really doesn't have a lot of teeth crowding at all. In fact, she's had 4 bicuspids taken out with retraction orthodontics. We're just going to kind of take a look at the case. First problem I see is that her palate is actually really small. If I look at her mouth and I look at her tongue is actually much larger than her palate. So she's not going to be able to achieve proper tongue posture just on account of the fact that there's that size discrepancy. Then if we start looking at the functional occlusion, that is how the top meets the bottom, she's actually in a crossbite. That is going to cause a lot of wear and tear. In fact, when I look at her posterior teeth, we see a lot of wear and tear. There's crowns, fillings. She's had root canals. She has 2 implants in her mouth. Clearly a lot of functional issues there. We see is when the top and the bottom come together, if you look at it from the side, the lower jaw are coming together in a way where the lower jaw is set back. That's just because the lower jaw, when it closes into the upper jaw, has to assume a reverse position so that they can actually fit together in a sensible way. That causes the lower jaw to posture a little further back where the tongue is occupying part of the throat space. This creates airway resistance. It has the tongue closer to the throat. When she goes to sleep, especially when she gets into deep sleep, the tongue muscle relaxes since it obviously doesn't fit up in the palate. The tongue's supposed to achieve light suction up on the palate. Since it's not able to do that, it's not able to fit, it's going to maintain low posture. Her lower jaw, like I said, is assuming a reverse position. That means the tongue is already pretty much back in her throat. That's going to create the airway resistance issues. She's going to end up having to open up her mouth at nighttime because she's not able to get enough air through her nose to get past that tight, obstructed airway space. So you can see the need for expansion goes well beyond just whether or not we're just trying to adjust crowded, crooked teeth.